There are two things about being YouTube famous that I feel extremely guilty about. One that's kinda killing me, and a bunch of things that I feel good about. I'm gonna share all that stuff with you here, plus really pull back the curtain on everything that I'm doing YouTube. But first, how I got here. I'd started on my path to becoming a voice actor when I was 18 years old, and I'd basically been hiding the fact that I was losing my eyesight for most of my adult career. It wasn't until I was in my mid-30s that I started having a lot of success in the business, and you could basically hear me anywhere in the United States and a lot of places around the world, and I started feeling comfortable enough to start sharing my story as a person losing his sight and going blind.
My life is one long series of preparations and memorization in order to function and make it look like I function like everyone else. When I go out to restaurants, I prefer to go to places where I know what's on the menu, because I can't read a menu.
Unlike a sighted person, Gustin couldn't easily read the copy he was given either.
Divergent, rated PG-13.
I've done a bunch of TV interviews, newspaper articles, online stories, and stuff like that, so it wasn't a huge stretch that when I moved to San Diego and the local Fox affiliate asked if they could do a story about me being a blind surfer, I felt comfortable sharing the story at that time.
Pete Gustin began surfing 3 years ago in an effort to soak in the Southern California lifestyle. But the Massachusetts native admits learning was a lot harder than he expected.
I've been skateboarding my whole life. I used to sail, and I felt like I was coordinated, and I just wanted to hop onto a board and start riding waves. I thought it would be that simple.
But unlike most beginners, Gustin had another challenge, learning how to surf while being blind.
Shortly after that story ran, I was at a surfing competition and ran into one of the more popular surfers on the planet for a long time by the name of Taylor Knox. And he just kind of walked by Banana and I, and he said, "Saw your story, makes me want to be a better person." Banana and I were like, holy crap, if just telling my story of like trying to learn how to surf can help inspire someone like that, maybe we should start telling this story a little bit more. So like December of 2019, I ordered a Sony camera and I basically just stuck it in Banana's hands January 1st, 2020 and said, we're gonna start doing a channel called Blind Surfer. Hey, my name is Pete Gustin and this is my brand new YouTube channel called Blind Surfer, because that's me. I'm legally blind, I have a disease called Stargardt's disease, and despite the fact that I can't see anything, I am also a surfer. The channel had basically no success for a very long time. I think maybe after a year I had about 9,000 subscribers, but the video views were pretty minuscule. I was getting maybe like 10 on some videos. Maybe I get a couple hundred on other ones, but the channel really wasn't going anywhere in particular. However, it was reaching enough people that it kept me going. People that would reach out and say, I have something going on in my life. And it wasn't just blind people, it was people suffering from a lot of things and other people who were just undermotivated. And they said that they saw my videos and it made them just feel like they needed to work harder or do more, or it just gave them encouragement in their own life that they could reach for further things and do better. And that's what kept me going in the beginning. It wasn't until October of 2021, so 22 months after I started the channel, that I had a video hit. And it didn't even hit on YouTube, it hit on TikTok. It was the now famous gym story. I'm blind. If you know what those two words mean, you are much smarter than the girl who was screaming at me at the gym. And I remember I'd gone to bed and I'd posted that on YouTube and TikTok, and I think it had like 11 views on YouTube and it had 9 views on TikTok. And the next day I was working out at my home gym and my phone just started getting notification after notification after notification, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what is going on? The thing was blowing up on TikTok. It was the story where I was at the gym and looking straight ahead, but of course being blind, I wasn't really looking at anything, and a woman at the gym accused me of staring at her. You may have seen the story by now. It got, I think, 6 million views within the first 48 hours of it being live on TikTok. I kept doing the YouTube channel, the long form surfing content, which again was still getting just like a few views from October until February, when that same gym video finally hit on YouTube. At this point, midsummer 2023, that video has just over 71 million views. And if you're curious as to how much money you get for 71 million views, $1,300 for 70 million views. $1,300 for like almost 2 years of being up there. It's not really a lot. I think a lot of people have a massive misconception of how much YouTubers make, especially if you're a shorts person, and also especially because I don't have any sponsors, I don't have any partners, I've never sold anything, and so yeah, 70 million views, I made just over $1,000, but again, that's not why I was doing the videos. One of the main reasons I was doing the videos is what I was talking about before, the people that kept writing in and telling me how I changed their lives and inspired them, and that actually really kept me going every day. But this is the thing that I was talking about at the beginning that was stressing me out hugely from the beginning, and it continues to happen to this day. I've gotten a handful of messages, most of them personal emails. I'd say somewhere between 10 and 15 of people who told me flat out that they were going to kill themselves, but then they saw my videos and decided that there was still something to live for. Most of them had recently become disabled. A couple people had lost limbs. Most of them had been losing their eyesight or gone blind. 2 of them were just generally depressed. And one of the people told me that as long as he sees my videos every day, he knows that if I can keep going, and he'll keep going. And it meant a lot to me, like a lot to me, that I could change these people's lives, save people's lives by posting videos. But I would literally wake up every morning remembering the guy saying, as long as I see you posting every day, I'm not going to kill myself. And I'm like, that's a lot. And that's one of the main reasons I post every single day. I love sharing the stories. I love that people get something out of my stories, but I kind of let the pressure of that build up in my head over time. And I feel like at some point I might not want to or be able to post every single day. And I just hope the person that sent me that message understands that maybe I can't post a message every day, or I can't post a video every day, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still living every day. I hope that person knows that. Now, the thing that I've felt guilty about for over a year now, and I haven't really talked to anybody about this, is the Superdog video. I did a video sharing his last day with Banana and I felt kind of awful about it ever since. When I got the news that he was going to die, and we only had basically 24 hours notice between when I got it and when it happened, I was devastated and I didn't know where to go in my head. And I spent every minute of that time with him, but I did start defaulting to something that I'd been doing nonstop up until then, and that is filming. I told myself I was filming that last day just to have a memory of him. But there were points even throughout that day where I was thinking how I might assemble a video about this in my head. And I feel horrible about that. I felt like I wanted to share how special he was with me to the entire world and to keep his legacy going on. And that was really important to me. But I still feel like I kind of cheapened our relationship maybe, or his passing, by turning it into a friggin' video. That video got, to this point, 24 million views. And for the most part, I'm good with the people that watched it. I feel like it touched a lot of people. It did end up helping to raise a lot of money for the Blind Surfer Foundation. But the part that, I don't know, I guess I feel guilty about, I got just over 315,000 subscribers just from that one video. And I almost feel like I wish I could give those subscribers back. I don't want to feel like I traded his life for subscribers. I feel gross about it. And that's like another one of the reasons why I post so many videos and try and reach so many people. Outside of all the positive stuff that comes with it, there are these guilty feelings, like those people that I was talking about before, and this one, like those people that subscribe because of that. I didn't want their subscription to just be based on them watching me cry about losing my dog. I want to provide them some sort of inspiration and some sort of positivity that came out of the passing of my dog. I don't know exactly how to articulate that, but I do feel bad about that video. But now let me talk a little bit about being YouTube famous or internet famous. I do listen to videos on YouTube and other platforms sometimes just to get the story what I can. And I've been getting a few of them lately. I don't know, like all of a sudden the algorithm realized what I was interested in. And I keep getting shown these videos where people are getting recognized for their online work. There's one guy who shares interesting facts and he got recognized, and there's that guy who says, hey, cool car, what do you do for a living? And he got recognized. And I listen to those videos and I'm like, what does that do for you? Now, I'm guilty of it. When I first started getting recognized, I was putting it in videos.
Wait, you're that surfing channel, Blind Surfer?
Yes, I am.
Because I thought it was kind of cool. And I'll tell you what it does for me. And one of them is the thing I feel guilty about, but one of them is the thing I feel good about. For me, most of the people that come up to Banana and I are children. I think they're generally between the ages, according to Banana, between like 9 and 12 or 13. I mean, a fair amount of adults as well, but a lot of kids. And these little kids, they're like, "You're so inspiring." And like having these kids come up and say that I've inspired them in their young little lives to reach for more and do more and try harder and realize that disabled people aren't incapable. Like, that's really cool for me. But, and this is the last part that I just can't seem to feel right about. Internet fame, YouTube fame, which I don't feel famous, but when you get recognized all the time, I guess it is what it is. And the problem I have with it is that my message and the reason I'm telling this story is that I'm just trying to show people everywhere that, yes, you've got something going on, because believe me, I know. Having your eyesight taken away, or losing it, however you believe in fate, losing it is horrible. And there's a lot of people, as I mentioned before, that don't want to continue living because of it. And I just wanted to show people that it's okay to feel that way, but show them that there is a path to still keep living that life, to still keep thriving and finding joy and happiness and relationships and work and all that good stuff. And I feel like what becoming recognizable has done to me, and I've seen this in the comments a handful of times, is people will write like, "That's great, but that's happening to you because you're you." But the thing is, I wasn't always me, at least not the way that you guys know me. I've only been sharing these stories and doing things to put on social media for a couple of years now, but I've been overcoming challenges and defying the odds and tackling these big things that seem untackleable by breaking them down and finding a way to do it for decades. So I don't want, especially kids, to try and watch these videos or listen if they don't have their eyesight anymore and go, "Yeah, that's great for him, but he does that stuff only because he's famous or recognizable." That is absolutely not the message that I want them to get. And the last thing that I just feel dumb about / guilty about is being a YouTuber. In general, it just sounds dumb. I obviously wasn't one of these people who started out trying to create a famous YouTube channel, like this whole crop of Mr. Beast and Eric who were trying to do this thing from the time they were little kids. I've obviously, as you've just heard and seen, kind of fell into it. I remember in the beginning when people started recognizing Banana and I, and they're like, "You're that YouTuber," and Banana would be like, "No, he's a voice actor." I guess just because the whole YouTuber or influencer, and this is probably mostly thanks to TikTok, but I think the general connotation of the people that do this kind of thing are a bunch of goofballs just out there getting clicks for the sake of clicks. So yeah, I'm a voice actor who does YouTube. So does being famous or at least recognizable have positives? Yes, one of them for me is it's actually made me feel more comfortable going out in the world with my blind guy cane. I've talked about it before, how I guess just embarrassed I was to start using it. And I didn't truly feel comfortable in the beginning until Anthony Ferraro and Dan Mancina came to my house. These are a couple of blind guys. They're really good skaters. They're younger than me. They're cool dudes. And when they came over here and I knew that they were using their canes out in the world, that gave me a bit of confidence to want to do it myself. I mean, a part of me was always, I just felt a little bad that I went from a sighted guy to a dude that needed the cane and needed to have Banana kind of lead me around and just get me where I needed to go. But going out and being recognizable as the blind surfer or Pete Gustin, and I have that cane and that's how people recognize me, that actually feels kind of cool. But as I mentioned, it does have its drawbacks. I mean, I won't even get into what it does for Banana and my relationship, going from 2 anonymous people to 2 people that can't leave their house without taking pictures. That's a whole other thing. But the ability to reach so many people, thankful to YouTube for pushing the videos out, thankful to all the people that have watched them, made that happen, that has been really amazing. And I really wouldn't trade that for almost anything. One thing I might trade it for, but I wouldn't trade that opportunity for almost anything else.